they all like acting like they're the big shit. I'm like, dude, you guys have no clue what the fuck really is. Like, look at this guy. This is inspiration. Like, by all means, it's truly inspiration, bro.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what happened, bro? How do
so, man, in 2005, I was involved in a car accident with my best friend, who's still my best friend at this point. And he and I, I'm 36 now. We were 21, 22 at the time when it happened, and we were just young, man, enjoying our lives. He played football for Alcorn State, and I was working up in Bakersfield as a wildland firefighter. So we were both just young, and we both had our thing going on, and we're best friends. So we really got to see each other. And then one night, we're both from the Long Beach area, so I was in town for the winter, and he happened to be in town as well, and we haven't hung out in a while. So long story short, we just kind of being young and you like to party, we were just drinking all day and partying. And then I remember at the end, it was a Wednesday, and he was like, hey man, like, because we always used to party in TJ when we were younger, when we were 18. So he's like, hey man, it's college night. I know San Diego State, I don't know if they still have it, but we knew it on Wednesdays, or I think Wednesday it was like college nights for San Diego State. So we're like, dude, let's go to TJ. And so like we both were drinking, and how we did it is he was the more responsible driver when we drank, so I always threw him the keys. It was like clockwork, because he was that was the way. And this night we just didn't make it, man. I fell asleep, he fell asleep, car veered off the cliff. I got ejected out of the car because I didn't wear my seatbelt, got thrown into a tree, and broke my back, man. And one thing that I could get out of that night, though, man, I'm just very, very thankful that, with the irresponsible choice we made that night, that nobody else had to deal with the choices we made. Like nobody else got hurt or killed. Right. It was just he and I. It was just he and I. I'm glad that my bad decision making that night, it just fell upon me, like physically. Obviously everybody around me is affected, from my family, my parents, who had to witness the whole thing. But for me, I'm just thankful that it didn't happen to anybody else. That my poor decision making that night didn't affect somebody else being in a chair, didn't affect somebody else, losing their life, and that really is something that I'm very thankful for. I don't think I'd be able to look at myself in the mirror knowing that I was the cause of somebody else's paralysis, death.
Correct.
It's just it would have been tough for me to deal with that. So I'm glad that the choice I made that night, I'm the one that has to deal with the consequences, and I'm okay with that. I've accepted that responsibility when it happened.
You believe in God, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, I'm a believer.
It's all like that.
I'm a believer.
Awesome.
I feel that, why I feel like I have a sense of purpose is because, again, I am a believer. So, like I tell people, I mean, it was already in my the stars were already aligned. It was already in my cards before I
knew it.
Yeah, before I exited my mom's womb.
So your mentality before that, I'm sorry to cut you off. It's just like, if I don't ask you things, it will just
go for it.
Your mentality before that was the same mentality that you have now. Your way of thinking, your enjoyment for life was the same way, or you actually woke up right after you went through that to say, oh my God, this is my purpose in life. I'm good.
It was you could sense it. Like I sensed it that like obviously you have to deal with all the fog and all the just stress, the depression that fights you as well. But in the end, I knew the big picture. I had a sense that this was it.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be, and it was just, even though I didn't want to accept it at the time, that I was in denial. I knew deep in my heart, I knew that it was something that was meant to happen for me. And now I always see something as something doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Just elaborate that for me.
like, the car accident didn't happen to me. Me being in a chair didn't happen to me. It happened for me. You know? It didn't happen to me. It happened for me. It was for my benefit, for my purpose. Whether I wanted to accept that or not, that's how I saw it. You know? And honestly, that's why I'm still doing what I'm doing right now. That's why, because there's a purpose. You feel like
so you found your purpose basically right after that. That's when you say, "Oh my God, this is my purpose." And
again, year after year, it takes you a while to find that calling, to really just build that sense of like, okay, to embrace it. You know, I just didn't fully embrace it. I mean, year after year, you just learn how to embrace it, take it, and eventually, you know, things become second nature. I remember, man, when I first got hurt, I would wake up because like everything was new, like not being able to use the restroom, having to do like a bowel program and all this stuff that you had to do. Like I had to wake up early in the morning and, you know, just do all these things that were gonna take me twice as longer than a regular able-bodied person.
Being born again kind of thing.
And I remember for the first couple months, I would wake up and I'd be like, fuck, man, I gotta go through it again. And there are times where I would go to sleep, I would pray to God. I say, man, like, this is tough. Like, it'd be cool if I just don't wake up, if I don't wake up tomorrow. I didn't want people to see me weak. I didn't want people to look at me and feel sorry for me, especially my mom, you know? Like, I remember where it just sort of clicked was when I was in my hospital bed, and I remember I don't know, my mom was looking at me, and like, she didn't have to say anything, but I saw a look in her eyes that just, you could tell, like, she would give anything in the world to take my place. But
that's the mothers, man.
But
will do it.
But she couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't do a damn thing about